लॉजिकल इवनिंग अभिषेक, देव, ध्रुव, महक. लॉजिकल इवनिंग. हाउ वाज दिस टाइम? आज का क्लैट कैसा था ग्लैडिएटर सीरीज का? गुड इवनिंग आदित्य. लॉजिकल इवनिंग आदित्य. So, how did you find today's CLAT? Priyashi, logical evening to you too. I'm sure you're doing very well. At least आज के CLAT में तो आपने अच्छा किया ही होगा. Yes, exactly, Dev. It was an easy one. Logical evening, Kunal, Mitanshu. Yes, महक, I know, तभी पूछा है. अगर इजी ध्रुव, बहुत बेकार मतलब क्या हुआ? द क्लैट वॉज बेकार कि आपका परफॉर्मेंस बेकार हुआ है? लॉजिकल इवनिंग पारुल. इजी टू मॉडरेट. आई फाउंड इट रादर, अगर मैं आपके पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखूं, इट वाज वेरी इजी एक्चुअली. ओनली वे यू कुड हैव स्पॉइल्ड इट बाय नॉट गोइंग विथ योर टाइम मैनेजमेंट. अगर आपकी टाइम मैनेजमेंट गड़बड़ाई है तभी इसमें गड़बड़ होगा, नहीं तो इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. This was on the easy side. Moderate side में भी नहीं था. It was more on the easy side. So let's look at it. So I hope that those of you who are not Vidhigyans already, you have availed of this opportunity to, solve the India Open mocks and the current affairs magazine as well for all CLAT aspirants. I hope that all of you are availing of this wonderful opportunity. Okay, now let's start off. If I look at this particular passage which talks about, in which category do I put this? What is this particular theme? Right now, if I look at the theme part of it, ये happiness का बोल रहा है. ये actually philosophy है, and this is a philosophy that is quite on the easy side. ये अगर passage आपके सामने आएगा तो आप इसको difficult नहीं बोलोगे. It was pretty easy to read and it was pretty easy to solve as well. So basically यहाँ पे मेरे को एक एक्सपेक्टेशन है आप लोगों से, आई एम श्योर खुद से भी आपको है, दैट यू विल बी एबल टू सॉल्व दिस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन ऑफ द मॉक विथ हाई एक्यूरेसी. So let's look at the questions. A person actively pursuing happiness is most likely to do which among the following as inferred from the passage? Now, if I look at this particular question, और ये एक inference का context आ रहा है, but this is quite an easy inference. Like, ये बात हो रहा है person actively pursuing happiness. And if I look at the passage, it is saying that the pursuit of happiness can be bad for you. तो actively pursue नहीं करना चाहिए. This is what the passage is talking about. So let's look at the ways seeking out pleasures at the expense of others, at the expense of society or the environment, right? And then we have more focusing on ourselves reduces our chance of experiencing happiness. So अगर overall देखते हैं तो this particular answer will be talking excessively on the phone in lockdown. This is not basically actively pursuing happiness. Actively pursue कौन करता है, right? ये नहीं होगा. Ghost a person they are dating. Ghosting a person, this is a absolutely negative concept, जो कि I don't think a person who's actively pursuing happiness is going to do that. Not sleeping a lot, answer is going to be B. Frequently indulging in recreational drugs. People who actively pursue happiness are looking for happiness from outside sources. That is what the passage has talked about, right? The more we value happiness, the more likely it is that we will be disappointed in our current situation. The more desperate we become about finding happiness, the more likely we are to experience symptoms of depression. And it can make us blame ourselves for being unhappy. तो आप बेसिकली इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखते हो तो यू आर looking for something that is outside of you for happiness, hence answer is going to be B. ठीक, अब इसमें it was not all that difficult if you got the gist of the passage, so I can expect 1 on 1. यहां तक आपका करेक्ट हुआ है. फर्स्ट वाला क्वेश्चन शुड बी राइट. चलो, which among the following is the example of irony presented in the passage? तो passage में irony कहाँ presented है? Let's look at it. Ironically, let's look at this aspect. Ironically, that self-centeredness, apart from not serving others, also makes people who pursue happiness lonelier. Right? Let's see. If I look at the options, A says a pursuit of happiness may result in isolation from others, leading to loneliness. Looks like it. क्योंकि वो ही पढ़ा है अभी अपन ने पैसेज में, फिक्सेशन ऑन हैप्पीनेस में लीड टू नार्सिसिज्म. कहीं भी नार्सिसिज्म का कॉन्टेक्स्ट नहीं आया है और कांस्टेंट डिससैटिस्फैक्शन की भी बात नहीं हुई है. अ परसूट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस में लीड टू ऑब्सेशन विद द सेल्फ. Making a self-centered person is one thing, but obsessing about oneself is another, and definitely making a person a perpetual critic will be incorrect. So my answer to this question is A. सिंपल सा है, आंसर इज A. तो यहां तक आपका जो परफॉर्मेंस रहेगा, इट शुड हैव बीन 2 on 2, और बहुत ज्यादा अगर जेनरोसिटी निकल रही है तो 1 on 2. Okay, there seems to be certain doubts in the first question as well. Now you need to understand that the question is, a person actively pursuing happiness is most likely to do what? Okay, now let's look at it. The point is that it is going to exacerbate individualistic tendencies to seek out pleasures at the expense of others. ठीक है, breaking up a friendship because it is not a fun. So basically आपका friend है, आप उसको छोड़ देते क्योंकि मजा नहीं आ रहा है. Society or the environment. Those who score the highest in happiness rankings report good social support, live meaningful lives that allow them to contribute to society, experience abundance of positive emotions which are created on this. So basically अगर देखते हैं ये context passage का, so talking excessively on the phone in lockdown नहीं होगा. ठीक है, frequently indulging in recreational drugs. Now basically you're feeling unhappy, so you're taking drugs that give you that temporary high वाला part है. अगर talking excessively on the phone in lockdown कर रहे हो तो आप दूसरे से interact कर रहे हो, तो ये तो आपका actively seeking happiness वाला context होगा नहीं. Ghost a person, number one, you need to understand what is the concept of ghosting a person. That will mean stalking. तो स्टॉकिंग में कहाँ आपका दूसरे से इंटरेक्शन हो रहा है या दूसरे को कंट्रीब्यूट हो रहा है, ये भी नहीं हो रहा है. Sleeping a lot is again something that is not looking at the concept of happiness. So what is left is B. It is clear. Now, second में doubt है लोगों को. What they are saying is in question number 2, why cannot be B? Now, a fixation on happiness may lead to narcissism. Number one, do you know the meaning of narcissism? Narcissism is, the thought or the psychological condition where you think you are better than others, you are the best वाला context आता है. ठीक है? Constant dissatisfaction की बात नहीं है. Irony में simple straightforward कहा है कि self-centeredness, that is actively pursuing happiness, is going to make people lonelier. So this is the irony, na? This is the irony that is talking about. So मेरा आंसर उसी के हिसाब से होना चाहिए. It cannot be about some random thing. तो यहाँ fixation of happiness but narcissism की बात नहीं हुई है, dissatisfaction की बात नहीं हुई है. C says a pursuit of happiness may lead to obsession with the self, making a person a perceptual critic. ये भी mention नहीं है. But A is absolutely correct. Self-centeredness means living in isolation and it can lead to loneliness. Hence, answer is A. Okay, is it clear, everyone? Yes, Dev and Ari, ghosting can be that as well. Ghost का आप literal meaning भी लेते हो तो होगा. अब it may or may not involve the stalking aspect of it. Are we clear? Ari and Dev and Rishika, जिस किसी को भी doubt है यहाँ तक, is it clear? Going to the third question. As per the passage, an unhappy life is a result of which among the following? So दिए गए में से unhappiness क्यों हो सकती है? That is the question. So let's look at it. The pressure originated in compulsion for having a happy life. Can that be reason? Yes, it can be a reason as per the passage. Disgruntlement because of not ever being able to achieve long-term happiness. Disgruntlement. 3 says lack of social support resulting from egocentrism. Yes, ये mentioned है. Discontent in self for having to actively seek happiness. Yes, this is mentioned as per the passage. Yet disgruntlement वाला element mentioned नहीं है. Hence answer is going to be C. 1, 3 and 4. Clear everyone? So यहाँ पे given the kind of confusion you had with respect to question number 1 or 2, then अभी तक आपका या तो 2 on 3 होना चाहिए या 3 on 3 होना चाहिए. Clear everyone? If a person is actively pursuing happiness, why would he ghost a person that he is currently dating? क्यों करेगा? Ghosting a person. Now यहाँ पे एक simple सी चीज है, breaking up a friendship because it is not fun. That's one thing. वहां पे आपको फन नहीं है इसलिए कर रहे हो. घोस्टिंग में तो फॉर नो राइम और रीजन यू आर डिसअपियरिंग, राइट? यू आर बिकमिंग अ घोस्ट in that person's life. That does not make sense. So it cannot be C. Dissatisfaction. Disgruntlement means dissatisfaction. Question number 4. Which among the following can successfully replace the word exacerbate in the passage? Ari, please read the passage carefully. आपका पैसेज में मेंशन्ड है बट क्या कोनोटेशन है वो देखिए आपको अपने आप मिलेगा बिकॉज इट इज नॉट फन दैट्स अ पार्ट दैट हैज बीन डिस्क्राइब्ड देयर और घोस्टिंग का मीनिंग आप ही ने इतना बढ़िया बोल्ड करके बताया हुआ है राइट उसमें तो कोई नहीं है एनी वार्निंग और एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ डूइंग सो देयर इज नथिंग मेंशन ही नहीं किया गया है सो विदाउट एनी रीजन का इट्स नॉट फिटिंग इन विद द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ एक्टिवली परसुइंग हैप्पीनेस और द कॉन्सिक्वेंस ऑफ दैट वेरी गुड आंसर इज बी एग्रावेट एग्जर्सबेट का मतलब होता है टू मेक समथिंग वर्स टू वर्सन समथिंग and aggravate also means the same thing. Embellish is decorate, adorn, retrogress is basically going back to a less advanced state or taking a step back. That is your context. Now let's look at it. Question number 5. So what is the meaning that the author is trying to convey through the passage? We ourselves are the main impediment in the path of true happiness. ये बोल रहा है. Or is it saying it is okay to pursue happiness as long as it is not the only thing we strive for in life? The pursuit of happiness in reality makes us unhappy, or the only way to achieve true happiness is to pursue happiness of others around us. तो फिफ्थ में से कौन सा वाला करेक्ट है? तो अगर देखा जाए तो पैसेज में बात हुई है कि वो सेल्फ सेंटर्ड लेके जाता है जबकि आप दूसरों के लिए जितना काम करोगे उतना आपको हैप्पीनेस यू विल गेट दैट सेंस ऑफ हैप्पीनेस हेंस आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी डी नाउ so far acceptable score is 4 on 4 4 on 5 or 5 and 5 क्लियर एवरीवन आप स्कोर चेक करिए अपना कहाँ पे है वेयर डू यू स्टैंड इन द स्कोर चार्ट आप खुद के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ही देख लीजिए नो नीड टू कंपेयर योरसेल्फ विथ अदर्स राइट नाउ हाँ towards the evening you will definitely come to know the overall score along with your sectional scores okay yes 3 on 4 is also acceptable Kunal very good 5 on 5 okay Ankul has a doubt why cannot be C now message convey कर रहा है author so in a way is asking us what is the main idea that the author is trying to convey is the main idea that pursuit of happiness is going to make us unhappy or in order to be happy you need to look at others in terms of their happiness or serving them देख लो ओवरऑल एंडिंग ऑफ द पैसेज देख लो this is a point that the author is trying to convey it is mentioned the only way why not see तो यहाँ mentioned है the focus of the passage is not that you the pursuit of happiness makes you unhappy the point here is how to become happy ये देखो begins with happiness is one of the most important goals in life chalo going on to the next passage okay This is a very interesting passage in the context that it is a combination of sociology plus your ecology or environment. This is a very interesting one. It is basically the interaction of humans with respect to the earth and what kind of consequence it's having on this particular planet. Ankul, the question is what is the message that the author is trying to convey? It is not what is one of the points that has been mentioned by the author. The question was very specific. क्या message convey करना चाहता है? वो ये message convey करना चाहता है कि हम खुश कैसे रह सकते हैं या ये convey करना चाहता है कि हम खुशी के पीछे दौड़ेंगे तो ना खुश रहेंगे. That is the question that you need to ask when it comes to identifying the central idea of that particular passage. Okay, going on to the question, which of the following can be inferred from the passage except, and I accept this becomes important. So we are looking at something out of the four options, three can be inferred and one cannot be. Let's look at it. The upcoming times have been well thought about by the humankind as a whole. The main reason we are facing a doom is the zealous, all consuming human behavior. Is something that can be inferred. The humankind has an opportunity to thwart the threat that awaits us in the future. Agreed. It can be proved scientifically that we are not facing a good future ahead. ये भी mentioned है. So the answer will be A. This cannot be inferred from anywhere. Dhruv and Ari had seemed to stuck at the part simply because this option is talking about the only way to achieve happiness. You just आप आगे बढ़ नहीं पा रहे हो इससे मैं आगे का पैसेज बात कर रही हूँ आप अभी भी उसी पे बैठे हुए और वही डिस्कशन चल रहा है आपका चलिए I'll take you back to the passage. अब आप ध्यान से देखना I don't want to come back to the question again. I'm using a highlighter out here now. ये देखो. For instance, supporting others when in need. Contribute to society. Put effort into developing skills that serve others well. Experience abundance of positive emotions which are often created in the company of others. अब यहाँ पे ना देव ध्रुव को मना मत करो उसको ध्रुव को आरी को अगर यहाँ पे डाउट है तो let's discuss that out. You seem stuck there and you know you're not moving ahead with the rest of us to the next paragraph, so let's look at it. अब अगर यहाँ पे देखते हैं ध्रुव और आरी अब बात करिए यहाँ पे ओनली अदर्स मैं ऑप्शन क्यों पिक कर रही हूं क्योंकि यहाँ पे पैसेज ने सिर्फ अदर्स के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में ही लिखा है. My answer is going to be based on whatever information is given in the passage. ठीक है ओनली अदर्स का ही मेंशन आया हुआ है. लुक एट द हाईलाइटेड पार्ट्स ऑफ द पैसेज मैंने जो हाईलाइट किया हुआ है उसको देखिए. It is talking about supporting others when in need and in return being offered support. But the part here is you're supporting others. Then you're talking about contributing to society. That means skills that serve others well. Again, others wala context aaya. Experiencing positive emotions. Again, something that is created in the company of others. ठीक तो यहां जब देखोगे सब जगह अदर्स वाला कॉन्टेक्स्ट आया है. So the only way we can find according to the passage it is going to be the only way to achieve true happiness. Again, the author is trying to convey, ये बड़ा clear हो गया कि author क्या convey कर रहा है. ये आप क्या सोचते हैं, आपने इस बारे में और क्या पढ़ा है, is not going to be relevant to relevant in answering this question. इसके कारण आपके answers गलत मार्क होंगे. आपका फोकस सिर्फ और सिर्फ दिए गए पैसेज में रहेगा. नाउ the pursuit of happiness in reality makes us unhappy. Agreed. ये ऑथर ने लिखा है, क्लियर वर्ड्स में लिखा है. बट इज इट द मैसेज दैट द ऑथर वांट्स टू कन्वे, or is it one of the points through which the author is conveying how to find happiness? Please answer. Ari, Ankul, Dhruv. So that I can finally move to the next passage. बहुत time waste हो रहा है अपना. Okay, Ari and Dhruv को अभी भी okay, there's nothing I can do about it. Now let's look. 6 का हो गया है. तो यहाँ तक आपका frankly speaking, it should have been either 5 on 6 or 4 on 5, 5 on 5 or 6 on 6 or 5 on 6. Chalo, going to the question number 7. Who has an opportunity to thwart irreversible civilizational and planetary decline? नहीं देव, गुस्सा नहीं हो रही हूं मैं. डोंट टेक इट अदरवाइज. आई जस्ट गेट पैशनेट व्हेन इट कम्स टू लैंग्वेज. मैं कभी भी गुस्सा नहीं होती हूं. डाउट है तो वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस दैट डाउट. डोंट वरी देव. इट्स ओके, बार बार मैसेज डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Very good. Answer is going to be humankind. Chalo, let's go to the 8. What is the tone of the author in the passage? Dogmatic will be ideal, stubborn. एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है, उसी को स्टिक कर रहा है. ठीक है, अडियल वाला कॉन्टेक्स्ट आता है. कैन दिस बी माई आंसर? लॉडेटरी, वो क्या प्रेज कर रहा है किसी भी चीज को. विट्रियल विल बी एक्सट्रीमली sarcastic, जहर उगलने वाला टाइप. सो इज ही बीइंग sarcastic or is he being humanistic? Very good. Almost all of you got it correct. Answer is C. He is being humanistic. Now, why would I call this particular context humanistic? Is because he is trying to, or he is showing interest in human welfare. है ना? He is showing interest in human welfare. अब उसी के लिए ये पूरा पैसेज लिखा हुआ है. If I go back to the passage, let's look at it. We need to form collective responsibility to work together to prevent. तो basically ऐसी कोई issue है जो human beings को, human civilization को, humanity को affect कर रही है. Author उसको लेके he is talking about what all things are there, and we still have the time to deal with that particular problem. So the tone is going to be humanistic. Chalo, going to the 9th one. What is the synonym of the word epoch? Yes, Dhruv, vitriolic will mean something that is extremely biting, sarcastic, something that can burn, so it can be harsh criticism as well. Very good. Answer is era. Virility is a word that is related to masculinity. ठीक है, तो ये नहीं होगा अगर ये वर्ड पता नहीं था तो अब पता चल गया. Approach is to go nearer to something, and consequences you know the meaning of. Epoch is actually the what do I say? It's a beginning of a beginning of a period that is very remarkable, or something that is very very happening kind of a thing. उसके लिए वर्ड यूज होता है. सो इसके लिए एज यूज हो सकता है, एरा यूज हो सकता है. सो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट पर्टिकुलर सिग्निफिकेंट टाइम पीरियड, उसके लिए यूज हुआ है एपॉक. Now, which of the following expresses primary purpose of the author in the passage? तो ऑथर ये पर्टिकुलर पैसेज के थ्रू क्या बोलना चाहता है? So we have to appreciate the development and civilizations humans have done, right? ये लग नहीं रहा है और है भी नहीं, right? Eliminate. B says to praise the efforts of small groups who are trying to prevent entry of earth in the final phase. So that is not the primary purpose. Even though the author has done so, that is not the primary purpose. So B भी eliminate हो गया. बाकी बचता C और D. Now D is saying to help understand how civilization has helped in the evolution of society. No. So what is left is C. C is your answer. यहां तक आप आपका स्कोर देख लीजिए. एक्सेप्टेबल दैट आई वुड टेक इज एनीवेयर फ्रॉम 8 on 8, 8 on 9, 9 on 9, 9 on 10, and 10 on 10. Now if I look at this particular passage जो है, ये थोड़ा सा ऑन द टेक्निकल साइड हो जाता है, एक्सपोजिटरी साइड. अगर आप इसका देखोगे लैंग्वेज कैसे है, बहुत ज्यादा फॉर्मल है. उसने जैसे भी टर्म्स यूज किया, उसने प्रोसेस बताया कि कैसे सिविलाइजेशन वगैरह होते हैं. ही हैज टेकन दोज parallel examples to explain his point. So this could have been on the moderate side but not the difficult side. Chalo, going to the next one. This is your geopolitics बोल दो, politics बोल दो, current affairs के context में ले लो. It can be taken in any of those particular contexts. But then this is definitely about, the kind of mass revolts and the consequences of of those revolts that happened in the Arab countries. Okay, let's go to the next one. Which of the following title best expresses the given passage? Is it about oil? Oil का तो कहीं context आया नहीं है, easily eliminate कर सकते हैं. Arab Spring possible है. Arabs and demonstrators possible है. Politics in military तो बात नहीं हुई, यहाँ पे तो regime के ही context में बात हुई है. So this is eliminated. So what is left is B and C. ठीक? Now let's go to the passage. Now it is saying is that एक vendor था, because he was being harassed, he set himself on fire. Now that became a catalyst for mass demonstrations not only in Tunisia but also across the Arab world. Right? It spread to Egypt, Libya, Yemen, Syria, Algeria, Iraq, Mauritania, Morocco, Sudan, and the Gulf. And this period of history was called the Arab Spring. So this entire passage is on Arab Spring or uske consequences. Hence, answer to this question is going to be B. This is not about the Arabs. Arabs will mean wo log or demonstrators. Nahin. This particular is a passages on that particular movement of revolt, which was termed Arab Spring and what happened in that Arab Spring. Hence, answer is going to be B. Let's look at the 12th one. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage except? मतलब कौन सी चीज आप infer नहीं कर सकते हैं? So let's look at it. The ones who are in power use tactics to keep military in their favor. Can this be inferred? Yes, this can be inferred. There are mainly three ways through which it is done. Again दिया गया है, so this can be inferred. So counterbalancing helps the military to keep the protesters. No, अगर passage में देखोगे तो बोला है counterbalancing helps the regime to keep military in check. Hence answer is going to be C. Very good, Sakshi. Chalo, going to the next one. Which of the following is true as per the passage except? So we are looking for something that is not true. So let's look at the options that are there. Two main outcomes of the Arab Spring were either the overthrow of the regime or its survivability. Can this be the answer? Is it true or false? Okay. So answer, this is definitely true as per the passage. The Arab Spring brought hope for changes in authoritarian regimes in the Middle East and South Africa. कहीं भी South Africa mention नहीं है passage में. So this is not true. Third says to keep the military in check, Democrats can use the strategy of counterbalancing. This is again something that can be correct. Hence answer is going to be C. Only 2 is incorrect. This is basically as per the passage, it is North Africa. And I have number of people who have got it incorrect. क्यों incorrect हुआ? This was simple ना. Which of the following is true except? So I had to find something that was not true. Going on to the next one, 14th. Which of the following cannot be a synonym of the word seizure? Seizure का मतलब क्या होगा? Let's look at the way that it has been used in the passage, right? So यहाँ पे such demonstration reduce the likability of seizure. मतलब you're talking about taking control over something, right? So Answer to this question number 14 will be B. This is an antonym, right? Restitution will be to giving back, to put it back to its original standing. Liberation is again setting it free. Ransoming is वापस उसको set free वाले context में होगा. So answer will be annexing. Okay. Democrats can. है ना, यहाँ पे ध्यान दो. Democrats can use. ठीक है. और पैसेज में क्या दिया गया है? Autocrats use. See, it's if I look at the context of this thing is that it is in general talking about regime definitely और जहाँ यहाँ पे बात हो रही है passage में that is of the revolt that happened in countries such a list of countries बोला हुआ है जहाँ पे authoritarian regimes थे ठीक authoritarian regimes. So if I look at that particular context as true as per the passage, then can it be said that the Democrats can use it as well? Yes. Hence answer is going to be only 2. Chalo, going on to the 15th one. Which of the following can be the central idea of the passage? Unstable power distribution की बात नहीं हुई है. Eliminated the option. Arab Springs is the reason Americans have. अब यहाँ पे कहाँ अमेरिका आ गया है? ये भी नहीं है. That leaves C and D. Religious minorities have been protected since the inception of the Arab Spring. ये again mention नहीं है. So what is left is D. So far your score should have been 13 on 13, 13 on 14, 13 on 15, 14 on 14, 14 on 15 or 15 on 50. Chalo, going on to the next one. Now this is again something that is उसको contemporary है, definitely है contemporary, but this is a very interesting combination of one field with another field. So यहाँ पे ये legal के context में बात हो रही है with respect to the medical fraternity. So we can look at it with the context of medico-legal वाला part इसमें cover हो रहा है. Contemporary है, ये ज़्यादा difficult भी नहीं है. You can solve it quite easily. Let's look at the questions. Which of the following best expresses the attitude of the author in the passage? Let's look at the attitude. So यहाँ पे authorizing multiple instances, यहाँ पे उन्होंने fact दिया है. This he has again stated as fact. This is a fact. This is a fact. This is a fact. This is a fact. 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 यहाँ चल के उसका क्या बोलेंगे, सजेशंस या रिकमेंडेशंस आ रहे हैं. ठीक. सो क्रिटिकल नहीं है. He may be criticizing what the police are done, but then he is in a way justifying why they are doing it. They are doing it because of section 304A of the Indian Penal Code that criminalizes the act of causing the death of a person through a rash or negligent act. It wasn't enacted specifically to deal with medical negligence. The police and others frequently invoke it in case of road accidents, workplace mishap, building collapses, etc. However, due to Section 34A's broad scope and the fact that it encapsulates a cognizable offense, the police can file an FIR if the patient's relative can agree that the relative was the victim of medical negligence. सिंपल है, वो क्रिटिसाइज नहीं कर रहा है. आपको डेफिनेटली लगा था कि क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है, बट जो भी उसने इंसिडेंट्स दिए हैं वो एज फैक्ट रिप्रेजेंट किया है. और फिर जो पुलिस को गलत कह रहा है उसका भी उसने एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया है कि क्यों हो रहा है ये सब. ओपिनिएटेड नहीं है. ओपिनिएटेड इज बेसिकली फुल ऑफ ओपिनियंस एंड वन इज नॉट विलिंग टू चेंज दोज ओपिनियंस. इनफॉर्मल भी नहीं है. हेंस आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी जर्नलिस्टिक. Dev, I just explained. Did you understand why it is not going to be criticized? The tone is not going to be critical. आपका reply आता तब तक I am going ahead. 17 say which of the following best expresses the meaning of the word drew flag in the context of the passage. The police drew flag from the Doctors Association as well. So यहाँ पे obvious है it's not going to be a positive word, so definitely appreciate और encourage नहीं होगा. किसी ने defend नहीं किया है, so answer is going to be C. They were criticized both from the medical association as well as the rest of the public, and everybody got it correct. Very good. Let's look at 18. What can be inferred about doctors from the passage? यहाँ पे विलेजर्स है नहीं तो सी नहीं हो रहा है. Passage में as such they have not said anything about their duty diligently, but हाँ ये जरूर mentioned it throughout that they are accused of following ill practices. Hence answer is going to be B. And again all of you have got it correct. Very good. 19. What is the primary purpose of the passage? ये passage क्यों लिखा गया है? Why is the author, what is the reason for which the author has written this particular passage? So let's look at it. To provide the readers with the context of as to why there are so many patients dying of medical negligence. ये तो basically बात कर रहा है कि मेडिकल नेग्लिजेंस नहीं रहता है, बट क्योंकि पेशेंट के family or anybody who can report, so they have to be booked under that particular Indian Penal Code. तो ये नहीं होगा. B says to make the reader aware of a certain situation that is being created in the country and provide the readers with a reason to ask why and how this is taking place. Seems so. टू कैनवस सपोर्ट फॉर डॉक्टर्स. कैनवस का मतलब होता है टू आस्क सपोर्ट फॉर डॉक्टर्स. नहीं, अगर ए नहीं है तो ये भी नहीं है. सो आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी बी. To make the reader aware of a certain situation. What is the situation? That doctors are being so called harassed by the police. और फिर वो रीजन भी दे रहा है क्यों ये हो रहा है और कैसे हो रहा है. ध्रुव, यू शुड कम अप. जो डाउट रहता ना तभी पूछ लिया करो आप. आगे चलने के बाद वापस it kind of creates a disorientation type for students. So express the attitude of the author in the passage. ठीक है ना. क्या पूरे पैसेज में ऑथर क्रिटिकल है क्या? मैंने आपको जो बोला, डिड यू फोकस ऑन व्हाट आई टोल्ड यू टू, व्हाट इट मीन्स एज वेल? लेट्स लुक एट इट. यहाँ पे उसने डेट के साथ इंसिडेंट दिया हुआ है. ठीक है. ये पुलिस ड्रू फ्लेक फ्रॉम एसोसिएशंस एज वेल एज सिविल सोसाइटी. मुंबई पुलिस कमिश्नर ने ऐसे किया हुआ है. ठीक है. उसने क्या कहा ये भी मेंशन्ड है. इस रिमार्क्स का क्या हुआ ये भी मेंशन्ड है एज अ फैक्ट. दे पॉइंटेड आउट ईच पेशेंट इज यूनिक. ठीक है. देन द मोस्ट रीसेंट इंसिडेंट अगेन मेंशन किया हुआ है. द मेडिकल एसोसिएशन वाज irate, that was it was thing, the incidents are. अब यहाँ चल के आ रहा है आपका कॉन्टेक्स्ट. यहाँ तक देखोगे तो ऑथर ने जो है ये क्या हुआ है वो बताया है. यहाँ तक ऑथर ने अपना ओपिनियन विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू पुलिस कहीं नहीं लिखा है. यहाँ जहां कहीं भी पुलिस का क्रिटिसिज्म हुआ है वो ऑथर ने नहीं किया है. वो किन लोगों ने किया है वो साफ तौर पर मेंशन्ड है. इट इज नॉट द ऑथर हु हैज क्रिटिसाइज्ड. कहीं भी मेंशन नहीं है. ठीक है. अब ऑथर यहाँ आके बोल रहा है दीज इंसिडेंट्स आर सिम्टोमैटिक ऑफ द इनडिस्क्रिमिनेट यूज ऑफ क्रिमिनल लॉ टू रेगुलेट मेडिकल केयर एंड डिटर मेडिकल नेग्लिजेंस. He's asking why is the police so quick to book doctors under criminal provisions in the law when patients die? The answer requires us to pay attention to the legal framework. तो ये क्या इंसिडेंट्स हो रहा वो बता रहा है और उसके पीछे का रीजन बता रहा है. उसने कहीं भी पुलिस को डायरेक्टली क्रिटिसाइज नहीं किया है. उसने जरूर मेंशन किया है किसने क्रिटिसाइज किया है. सो आई कैनॉट से दैट द ऑथर्स टोन इन द पैसेज थ्रू आउट इज क्रिटिकल. Is it clear, Dhruv? He gets, I don't get. I'm she, by the way, and I don't get at all mad or angry. वो ट्रैक लूज होता और कुछ नहीं. Is it clear now, Dhruv? Please respond quickly. Do you still have doubt, Dhruv? Okay. Now, who else had a doubt? Vidhi Sharma. You eliminated B because of the word ill practice, but in the passage, negligence. Now, what do you mean by ill practice? विधि आपको क्या समझ में आया? अब यहाँ पे जो कह रहा है वो प्रिस्क्राइब्ड अननेसेसरी टेस्ट, इसमें नेग्लिजेंस तो नहीं है ना, आप तो अच्छे खासे टेस्ट करवा रहे हो। तो नेग्लिजेंस से मरना इज अ पार्ट ऑफ इल प्रैक्टिस एंड यू आर बेसिकली आस्किंग समवन टू डू अननेसेसरी टेस्ट, दैट इज आल्सो इल प्रैक्टिस। क्लियर विधि? Chalo, the last one of this particular passage. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? The police use criminal law indiscriminately because they want to curb medical negligence by the doctors in order to safeguard the interest of the public. पॉसिबल है ना, मेंशन्ड है। द पुलिस एंड द डॉक्टर्स हैव द सेम टाइप ऑफ एजुकेशन, ये तो कहीं भी मेंशन नहीं है। देयर इज अ वेरी रैम्पेंट प्रैक्टिस employed by doctors to prescribe unnecessary tests to their patient just to earn more money through those tests. ये तो कहीं मेंशन नहीं है, दो एक पॉइंट जरूर आया है where it is saying that Commissioner Sanjay Pandey alleged that patients were being treated as commodities. He went on to say that doctors who prescribed unnecessary tests were effectively cheating their patients and would thus be prosecuted should the police receive complaints. Right? तो यहाँ पे ये दे आर अर्निंग मनी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में नहीं कहा है, सिंपली चीटिंग दे पेशेंट्स की बात हुआ है, और अगर कंप्लेन मिली तो उनको प्रोसिक्यूट किया जाएगा। सो लुकिंग एट दैट पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट, ये नहीं होगा, रैम्पेंट प्रैक्टिस के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में नहीं है, ये कुछ डॉक्टर्स के लिए जरूर कहा हुआ है। सो इट कैन नॉट बी बोथ ए एंड बी, हेंस आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी ए। So 20 questions हो गए हैं, and the kind of confusion you have had with respect to understanding the passage, well उसके लिए मैं कोई आपको mercy या कोई generosity नहीं रहेगी। अभी तक आपने जितने solve किए हैं, it should be 17 on 17, 17 on 18, 18 on 18, 18 on 19, 19 on 20, or 20 on 20. We have finished solving 20 questions. Chalo, let's go to the next one. Now, this is an excerpt from the book, right? The Elephant Paradigm. So this is something again very much on the lines of क्लैट। अगर आपने गए 2 साल के क्लैट के पेपर्स देखे होंगे, बुक एक्सर्प्ट्स पे और आपके कंटेम्प्रेरी पे आता ही है। सो अगर ओवरऑल मैं ये क्लैट देखूंगी, इट इज ऑन द लाइंस ऑफ द एक्चुअल क्लैट। तो ये सॉल्व करने से आपको डेफिनेटली समझ में आ रहा है कैसे रहेगा। आपको लग रहा है ये ऑन द इजी साइड है, तो अभी तक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करते करते समझ में आ गया है आपको कि हाउ यू हैव कंफ्यूज योरसेल्फ एंड मेड अ मेस ऑफ एन इजी सेक्शन। आपने उसको मिस किया है कंफ्यूज करके, या तो आपकी केयरफुल रीडिंग नहीं है, जल्दबाजी में पढ़ रहे हो, या आप कोई एक प्रिजम्पशन लेके, ऑलरेडी कुछ अजम्पशन लेके कि ऑथर तो ऐसे ही कह रहा होगा, ऑथर तो इसी के बारे में बात कर रहा है, वो अजम्पशंस लेके आप पैसेज पढ़ रहे हो, तो आपके ऑब्वियस से इनकरेक्ट होने वाले हैं। So what you need to do is focus on just what the passage is saying, and I would actually like you to read the passage carefully once and then go to the question. Chances are you may not require to regress, वापस जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, और अगर पड़ेगी तो क्योंकि आपने वो passage ध्यान से पढ़ा है, you have basically created the map of the passage, so you'll know where to go in the passage to solve it or to cross check the option. Okay, that's something that you need to practice again. So let's look at it. This is आप इसको literature तो नहीं कहोगे, but definitely it is a book non-fiction based. So let's look at the questions. Which of the following can be inferred from the passage? So we have the majority which fall in the category of unhappy people is looking inward for happiness. I cannot infer it from anywhere. The minority which fall in the category of happy people is looking outward. They are looking inward होना चाहिए. ये भी नहीं है. La Intransigent was an appalling newspaper of its time. Again nahi hai. So what is the answer? Answer is going to be D. None of the above. These are अगर passage देखेंगे ये outward है, ये inward होने चाहिए correct context में देखोगे तो, and the word they have used for it was charming. Hence answer is going to be none of the above. Next question. What is the figure of speech that has been used in the underlined part of the passage? So let's look at it. The news would drive the masses to the nearest church or the farthest bedroom. Now, metaphor है नहीं, right? Oxymoron है नहीं. Metaphor, you know what metaphor is? It's an implied comparison जो कि हुआ नहीं है. Oxymoron के लिए I need two negatives in the same sentence. यहाँ पे दो अलग sentence के contrast आ रहा है. There are two opposing ideas mentioned in the sentence. The answer is antithesis. Litotes, you already know what litotes are. What are litotes? Litotes are basically negating something in order to prove the opposite. So, for example, if I say Mr. Mukesh Ambani is not poor, that would be an example of litote. So, answer is going to be antithesis. Going to the next question, 23rd. Which of the following is true as per the passage? A says Proust wanted to visit the new galleries at the Louvre. Seems like it. ये true है तो ये भी रह सकता. तो let's check B. Proust's recipe for happiness was banal. नहीं. Passage में mentioned है it was brilliant. So B होगा नहीं. अगर B नहीं है तो D नहीं है. He was planning to go on a trip. He never meant. Hence answer is going to be A. Going on to the next one. The word pretension has been written in bold in the passage. Which of the following meanings does it convey? So let's go to pretensions. Okay. 4 months later, Proust caught a cold and died without doing any of the three things. His recipe for happiness, however, was brilliant. Shed our pretensions to immortality. तो अगर जनरली हम प्रिटेंड देखते हैं तो वी टेक द मीनिंग एज इन वो दिखाना जो कि है नहीं. दैट इज व्हाट प्रिटेंड का कॉन्टेक्स्ट लिटरल सेंस में लेते हो. बट यहाँ पे देखोगे तो प्राउस तो मर गया. उसने जो जो कहा था हैप्पीनेस के लिए करने के लिए वो खुद नहीं कर पाया. दो उसने जो बताया वो एक ब्रिलियंट आइडिया है. तो ये जो है इससे हमें सबक मिलता है दैट वी नीड टू let go of our pretensions to immortality. So what do I mean by pretensions to immortality? तो humility, विनम्रता नहीं. अब shyness तो आप mortality को लेके नहीं ही यूज करोगे. Shyness to immortality, no. Waiver is when you let something off as free. ये भी नहीं है. Hence answer is claim. Our claim to immortality. कि हमारे पास बहुत वक्त है हम सब कर लेंगे. ये जो सोच है ये जो क्लेम है उसको छोड़ने की बात कर रहा है. Hence answer is going to be C. Let's look at the 25th one. Read the statement carefully. An actress said that people would actually improve, become honest and shed their silly inhibitions. What does the author imply by this in the passage? Okay. It was in the habit of number one, there used to be a charming newspaper. One question was, how would you live your last few days if you knew the world was coming to an end? A literary gentleman said this, although he himself would climb a mountain and admire the scenery. While the actress said that people would actually improve, become honest, and shed their silly inhibitions. राइट. अब क्वेश्चन इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आ रहा है कि ये जो एक्ट्रेस ने कहा है, इस चीज को ये एज एन एग्जाम्पल कोट करके ऑथर क्या कन्वे करना चाह रहा है. ओके, सो कैन इट बी हाउ पीपल रिस्पॉन्ड टू द न्यू वे ऑफ इंटरेक्शन? हाउ पीपल वांट देयर न्यूज़पेपर टू बी तो होगा नहीं. हाउ ऑथर वांट्स द न्यूज़पेपर टू बी होगा नहीं. हाउ शुड न्यूज़पेपर प्रोजेक्ट इंटरनेशनल न्यूज होगा नहीं. So answer is hey. How people responded to the new way of interaction. कि आपको पता आप मरने वाले हो तो आप कैसे interact करोगे? So there's your answer A. Right? 25 solved. So far you should be 23 on 23, 23 on 24, 24 on 24, 24 on 25, 25 on 25. At the most, you can be 23 on 25. ठीक, going to the last passage now. अब इससे ज्यादा कंटेम्प्ररी आपको कुछ मिलने वाला है नहीं. This passage is quite clear. It is on the Pegasus controversy or the Pegasus case जो आया था बीच में, not all that long ago, उस पर बना हुआ है. So again contemporary with respect to your legal. So let's look at the question. What is the central idea of the passage? Is it the move of SC of appointing an expert committee reasserts its role as a custodian of individuals' rights enshrined in the Constitution? Or the questions remain unanswered about how surveillance done on an individual was carried out by any government or an outside agency? Or surveillance stifles the freedom of the press and impedes it from delivering accurate information? Or the right to privacy is sacrosanct and is alienable to human dignity and autonomy? If I look at it, alienable के context में तो बात हुई नहीं है ना, तो D होगा नहीं. She says surveillance stifles the freedom of the press and it impedes it from delivering. Is that the central idea that we are looking at? No. Right? Then we have the question remain unanswered about how the surveillance done on an individual was carried out by any government or an outside agency. So देख लो आप कैसे लिखा है. Is a welcome and emphatic reassertion of its role and responsibility as the custodian of individual rights enshrined in the Constitution. Hence, answer is A. Going on to the next one. Which of the following is a synonym of specious except? तो अगर यहाँ पे species की बात करते हैं तो जनरली ये जो वर्ड होता है दैट इज यूज्ड इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ स्पीशियस क्लेम्स, राइट. स्पीशियस एक्सप्लेनेशंस हो सकते हैं. दैट इज व्हाट द कॉनोटेशन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ दैट वर्ड इज, राइट. The government specious and self-serving use of accurate and reliable. So अगर यहाँ पे the order is a strong rebuttal. रिबटल मतलब आप उस चीज को गलत ठहरा रहे हो, उसको डिनाई कर रहे हो, उसको रिजेक्ट कर रहे हो, तो आप गवर्नमेंट के कौन से एस्पेक्ट को रिजेक्ट करोगे जो आपको लग रहे हैं कि गलत है? तो मिसलीडिंग विल बी अ सिनोनिम, डिफेक्टिव विल बी अ सिनोनिम, fallacious is again a synonym, so answer is going to be accurate. Chalo, going on to the next one. Which of the following is not an issue addressed in the Supreme Court's order in the Pegasus row? Is it implication of surveillance on free speech? Not बोला है. Right to equality, citizens' right to privacy, judicial review in case of executive invoking national security. ठीक है? Now going on to this particular passage, let's look at it. Right to privacy है. Any violation of that right by state, even in national interest, has to follow procedures established by the law. So, especially the knowledge that one is under the threat of being spied on and censorship, particularly self-censorship, to reflect on the potential chilling effect of that snooping technique may have, is an assault on the vital public watchdog role of a press, which may undermine the ability of the press to provide accurate and reliable information. So if I look at it, यहाँ पे कहीं भी right to equality नहीं है, hence answer is going to be B. 29th, which of the following can be the suitable title for the given passage? Weak law state है नहीं, center and states है नहीं, answer can either be A or B. So the question comes, what is the passage on? Is it the passage on the Supreme Court or is the passage on SCA? Let me complete that. Is the passage on Supreme Court being the custodian of individuals' right, or is the passage on Supreme Court's take its stand on the Pegasus? दोनों में से एक पिक करना रहेगा. तो आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी बी. ये वन ऑफ द पॉइंट्स मेंशन्ड है, बट ये पॉइंट भी इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लिखा हुआ है कि जो कोर्ट ने ऑर्डर लिया है विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू द पिगासस केस, दैट हैज मेड इट रीअफर्म इट्स रोल. तो वो चीज जो है वो अगेन पिगासस केस पर ही डिपेंडेंट है, हेंस आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी बी. And the 30th one, which of the following can be inferred from the passage? The court has drawn a link between surveillance and censorship. Right to privacy is an absolute right. ये तो नहीं है mention. Right to privacy is as sacrosanct as human existence and is inalienable to human dignity and autonomy. So what is the answer to question number 30? Yes, बच्चा ध्वनित, it was on Supreme Court, but Supreme Court, पूरे सुप्रीम कोर्ट के बारे में बात हुई है क्या कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट क्या क्या करता है, कैसे कैसे करता है? वो बहुत ज्यादा जनरल नहीं हो जाएगा क्या आपके हिसाब से? टेल मी. और वो जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का भी मेंशन्ड आया है वो एक पर्टिकुलर चीज के लिए आया है ना ध्वनित? Am I right? आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी बोथ ए एंड सी. लिंक किया है सर्वेलेंस एंड सेंसरशिप पे, सेल्फ सेंसरशिप का भी मेंशन आया है. राइट टू प्राइवेसी इज सेक्रोसैंक्ट एंड इज इनएलिएबल, ये भी मेंशन्ड है. ध्वनित, अगर मुझे आपको पूछना है कि फाइंड द सुटेबल टाइटल for a passage that focuses on the efforts taken by Greenpeace in curbing climate change. ठीक है, वो सारा एफर्ट दिया गया है कि ग्रीन पीस क्या कर रहा है. ग्रीन पीस ओशन में जाता है, वहां के प्लास्टिक वगैरह हटाता है, जो फिशिंग नेट्स ऐसे ही लोग फेंक देते हैं उसमें मछलियां फंसती है उनको निकालता है, ऑयल स्पिल होता है उसमें मदद करता है. तो विल योर टाइटल बी बेस्ड ऑन climate change or planet, or will you base that particular title on Greenpeace? दोनों में से कौन सा पिक करोगे आप? चलो, now if I look at this, अभी तक आपका स्कोर, if I look at an excellent score as usual, but यहाँ पे आपने अपने आप को अच्छा खासा कंफ्यूज करके रखा था, सिंपल क्वेश्चंस को भी आपने ओवर थिंक कर लिया, अजम्पशंस और प्रिजम्पशंस ले लिए हैं, उसके लिए मैं कोई आपको मार्जिन नहीं दे सकती हूँ. सो एनीवेयर फ्रॉम से 23 to 25 will be in the category of excellent scores. ठीक है? And then comes that anywhere from 19 to 22 will be in the category of good. ठीक है? I'm sorry my voice kept on cracking the whole time. I hope you have done pretty well. And इस type के इस level of the test, the section it was in, you should have scored well. आगे से आप जब भी कुछ solve करते presumptions and assumptions बीच में मत लाइए. ठीक है, चलो all. I wish you all a good evening, a very logical evening, and I hope you get very positive result on this. Thank you.